Hello traders, welcome to another daily analysis. Now apologize for the late video today. Right now it's actually past midnight already, so we are at 21st of December, and I'm gonna do an analysis for 20th and 21st. Just doing the London session. We are about an hour and a half heading into a London session pre-market. So we'll just get into the market. Well, I'll be honest, it's kind of holiday season, so I'm kind of getting lazy, to be honest, because as I mentioned, I'm not really trading at the moment, and sometimes if I'm not really trading at the moment, I don't really pay that much attention to the market. I'm still trade here and there with very small position, still doing many 4-hour chart. But let's get into the fundamental side first. So last night, the monetary policy meeting, minutes from Australian, it was quite neutral. Now, if it's neutral, it means actually it's bullish for Australian dollar because the commodity price has picked up and the Chinese industrial manufacturers continue to grow. So that's all support the Australian economy. And central bank is not looking to cut interest rate further, so it is neutral. But if it's neutral, all things are equal, Australian dollar is pretty good currency. It's pretty strong. In terms of Bank of Japan, they kept the interest rate unchanged as expected, but the policy was more positive. Basically, they're saying that they actually basically saying there's no more interest rate cut. They're probably looking to raise the interest rate for the very first time. Now, it's not surprise. It's because ever since the election of US, the Japanese yen has been largely sold. And then, of course, I gotta understand that in terms of currency, too high or too low are both negative for a country. So it's really, for central bank's job is really to find out that balance point. So back in the previous, first half year of 2016, the Japanese government is trying to really stimulate their market, trying to devalue their currency further to help the export business. But right now, because all other central banks are quite strong in terms of their currencies, so that really sort of diminished the Japanese yen to a point that the government is not looking to cut interest rate further. So that's, of course, a positive news for Japanese yen, but it's not a positive news. It's not strong enough to buy it. It is still, Japanese yen still remain, the most dovish, the most bearish currency right now. So still, you can still sell it especially against the US dollar. But just understand that the central banks has taken a different point of view from now. The London session and New York session was quiet, relatively quiet. There was no tier 1 data except the GDP price from New Zealand, and was come out as quite negative, minus 0.5%, which is very low in comparison to previous ones. Now, it was, of course, a setback because back then the dairy price finally started to pick up, I think since October. So it's quite... it was in a quite nice uptrend, but right now this negative number, at the end of the year, it's just a little bit setback. But of course, it's not negative enough for us to sell New Zealand dollar. New Zealand is still considered a quite strong currency in comparison with a weaker currency, and a weaker currency still remain to be Euro, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen. And sentimentally, WTI continued to edge higher slightly, and equity market were largely green. So really, the general point of view did not change much. The most bullish currency is still US dollar, and the second ones will be Australian and New Zealand. And the Canadian dollar was pretty good as well because of the oil market. Now, the negative one, of course, is still Euro, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen. Of course, a little bit positive news into the Japanese yen, but still remained bearish in comparison with other currency. Now, British pound, it's right now it's in a bearish sentiment. And the reason is because we have another news coming out from Scotland that they are probably seeking to hold another referendum if the Brexit lose the single market. So if after the negotiation the Britain does not get a single market, then Scotland, in order to stay in single market with Europe, with Eurozone, they probably want to seek independence, and this time they might pass, they might win the referendum. So it's of course kind of bearish for UK in general, but all these are just rumors right now. So it's not the fact, and the fact is really up to 2017. We want to see exactly what happened to the Brexit, what's happening to the negotiation, whether they are going to continue holding the single market access or not. But as for now, as I mentioned, I'm staying out of British pound because it's not really positive, but it's not really negative either. So the general view is still same. I'm still looking to long dollar yen, dollar Swiss. Still looking to long Australian, Aussie yen, Aussie Swiss, New Zealand, New Zealand Swiss, CAD yen, CAD Swiss. Still looking to short Euro dollar, Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand, Euro CAD. Now, another thing you can do is to buy US dollar against even, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, or Canadian dollar. Because right now, US dollar is really by far the most certain, the most strong currency, fundamentally, sentimentally, in every aspect. So you can really, although I say that New Zealand dollar and Australian dollar and Canadian dollar all come as pretty positive, but in comparison with US dollar, they are still considered weak. So you can buy dollar CAD, you can short New Zealand dollar, you can short Aussie dollar. Those are still a trade you can do. But of course, as mentioned, I personally not taking any daily trade. I'm in a little bit of 4-hour trade, which I'll show you later on. But that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Very small position, just go with the flow, and then really just sort of, playing these last 2 weeks in a very, very passive way, and just looking to trade again until 2017 January. So that's pretty much my view. Currently, I am in 4-hour euro dollar short. So the reason I'm go short, well, as I mentioned, fundamentally, sentimentally, I'm just keep riding this downtrend. That's why I'm continue in euro dollar short, 4-hour chart. I am in dollar yen long. I am also in dollar euro CAD short. I am also in let me take a look. What else I'm in? Euro dollar Swiss. I'm also in dollar Swiss long. And as I mentioned, if you wanna, short Aussie dollar, it's valid too. Although they both are strong currency, but basically, the very certain step is to buy US dollar against every other currency that you have a chance on. So if you have your own technical strategy and you just have this fundamental view in back of your mind, then definitely you can short Aussie dollar in whatever strategy that you're using technically. So for me, for Aussie dollar, you can short it. You can also short New Zealand dollar, and you can buy dollar CAD. And of course, you can also short cable. Again, it depends on what kind of technical strategy you're using, but fundamentally, really the most certain step is to buy US dollar. And New Zealand and Australia is not bad. Canadian, they're all not bad, they're all pretty good, but only in terms of, if you buy against Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and euro. But of course, again, US dollar is your go-to currency for now. Okay, so let's take a look at our 28 daily currency pairs. And before I do that, let me see what's happening tomorrow in terms of news. If we have any tradable risk events coming up. So tomorrow, 21st, Wednesday, there's really nothing going on at London station, New York station. You have crude oil inventory. Now that's a good thing to take a look at Canadian dollar. The expectation is another draw. So of course that's going to be positive for the oil market, but we never know, so we have to see. 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have New Zealand GDP. Now this is tradable if you have a surprise. So we'll see what happens. I'll put the number in the writing later on. But basically, you could trade it if it's a surprise. I'm only looking to buy it. Actually, you can short against US dollar if it's a negative surprise, because because the GDP price today is already a negative. So if tomorrow the GDP is a negative, then you can short against US dollar. If it's a positive, then of course you can buy against Japanese yen, or you can buy against Swiss franc, or buy against euro dollar. So that's pretty much for Wednesday. Pretty much it for Wednesday. Thursday, you have quite a few data coming out with New York session, and Friday really nothing going on except the Canadian GDP. So that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at our daily chart right here. So euro. Let's take a look at euro pound first. Again, really sideways movement. Euro Swiss, not much going on either. Now euro dollar, we have this reversal signal really touching 1.0350. That's a round number. That's quite significant level, and of course you might see a little bit upward, maybe toward 1.0450. But we generally will expect everything to remain below 1.05 to 1.0350, and we'll see if it can keep going lower. But that's pretty much all the action right now. Just be careful for the profit taking. That's really, you have to watch out. A lot of people right now is not going to hold a position too long. So if they make a little bit profit, they will most likely just take a profit, and that's why you will have this kind of reversal signal into a euro dollar. Euro Aussie, not much movement, a bearish candlestick today. Of course you can still short it, but I'm not going to do daily candles, so you can take a look at for see if you have a chance at euro Aussie. Right now you are really still in this sort of range area, up and down. But we'll see what happened. That's only if you want to trade in these 2 weeks. Euro Aussie, Euro Cat. Again, in this range bound. Yesterday we say it might going down. It did go down, but it's really not going anywhere. You're really just between this range area. So it might continue to be like this, up and down, up and down. And Euro New Zealand, same thing. You have this ranging area, and euro yen, it's again small inside candle today. Take a look at pound Swiss. Okay, nothing much going on. Cable again, you are still within this range. You actually have a reversal signal today, so you might go up again, might go down again. But again, really, we don't really have too much momentum right now because of the holiday season. So that's why I'm refrain from doing daily trade, because this is really not going anywhere. Pound New Zealand, again, not going anywhere, and pound yen, still another small inside candle. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, inside candle again. Dollar Swiss, you have this reversal signal. Not really a bearish kangaroo tail. It's more like a doji for me. But nevertheless, you are inside this long green candle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has been 4 days. So it's really, for me, it's just a box range. Dollar Cat, same thing. You really looking to go up, but really not much going on. Tomorrow we'll see what happened to the crude oil inventory. Dollar Yen, again, in another small range area. Take a look at Aussie Swiss. Again, not much going on. Aussie dollar, you actually have this reversal signal going up. Aussie Cat, Aussie New Zealand, and Aussie Yen. Okay, Cat Swiss, Cat Yen. Really nothing too excited, as of course as expected. New Zealand dollar, again, another reversal signal. So that's another thing, even though I say you can buy you can short Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, or buy dollar Cat, you can definitely do that, but it's not really you're not really playing with the sentiment, because although US dollar is stronger than Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar and Canadian dollar, but you will have a better momentum if you really pick the strong versus the weak. So if you pick the strongest versus the strong, it's just you pick number 1 versus number 2 or number 3. But you could have picked number 1 versus the last one, right? So that will actually provide you with better sentiment. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can short Aussie dollar, you can short New Zealand dollar. But if you're looking at daily chart, you are really, the downside movement is really diminished already. So you could, doing it later on, maybe when it goes up to 0.7, when it goes up to this level. You see cat really continue to, and this is actually not a bad candlestick today, to be honest. It's because the New Zealand dollar, it's the low GDP price, and the oil markets keep going up. Now, of course, the good thing to play New Zealand CAD is you are pretty much hedging in the same sentimental currency. They both are commodity currencies. So, excuse me, that will actually hedge your risk out. But tomorrow is the GDP price, so GDP. So I will ask, maybe suggest you to wait to see what happened to the GDP tomorrow. If it's a negative and you really want to do some daily trade, then this is not a bad trade to short. I would certainly take a look at the GDP price from New Zealand tomorrow to see what's going on. Again, if it's positive, I'll long New Zealand yen. If it's negative, then I will, short. If it's positive tomorrow, then you just looking at a daily chart, you long New Zealand yen, you actually have quite room to go. If it's negative, I'm probably gonna short New Zealand dollar. But again, I'm probably going to do 4 hour. So depending on what happened to the GDP price tomorrow, it's negative, I'm shorting it. If it's positive, I'm going to long New Zealand yen. So that's pretty much really not. I know it's not too excited, but as usual, these 2 weeks, that's really the way it is. And I am really currently still looking at all the currency that I just mentioned to you. This is really something, but this is more. Let me put underscore. This is really a better pick. You really pick something strong versus the weak, same as this one. Those are the better pick in terms of dollar CAD. Cable, New Zealand dollar, and Aussie dollar. This is more, you could still do it, but it might go somewhere, it might not go anywhere. So if you want to short Aussie dollar, this is a nice movement, but how low it's gonna go, we don't know. So that's why I don't really like to do this. And dollar CAD, as I mentioned, if you want to buy it, you could still buy it. But for me, I'm really looking to buy dollar yen, really looking to buy dollar Swiss, or to short euro dollar. Those are, like, if I pick these 3 pairs, I know the fundamental and sentimental are more on my side if compared to if I pick Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar. So just something to keep in mind. And that's pretty much it. I'm sorry it's very short, but that's really what we have right now. And I continue to monitor the news. Really nothing much going on in terms of the currency market. Of course, we have few unfortunate events globally. Again, the terrorist attack in the Christmas market, and the one in the Turkey, and the one in Switzerland. So really expect, I don't hope for it, but I'm just saying that expect this thing might keep happening as we are approaching this Christian holiday, which religious holiday is always kind of it's going to cause a lot of radical movement, basically. So, but again, nowadays, even if the attack happened yesterday, you don't really see much going on with Japanese yen, and that's why I say that the world has become sort of numb, right? Because you have this Christmas market attack, you have this, it's really nothing much going on. People are actually still selling Japanese yen. But back then, when we have the first few terrorist attack, even airport bombs, things like that, you really see Japanese yen surging, 150 pips, 200 pips. And I remember very clearly, whenever CNN has the report breaking in news, you see large buying power into Japanese yen, 150, 200 pips in the next few hours. We don't see that kind of movement nowadays anymore, and that's just saying that the market has grown more accustomed to the terrorist attack. So the safe haven effect it's really not that strong anymore in terms of the geopolitical events. It will still be strong only in terms of financial events. So if you have a financial turmoil, if you have interest rate cut, if you have referendum, things like that, something to do with money to the market, the Japanese yen, Swiss franc will act accordingly. Otherwise, the political events or terrorist attack is not that big a fact for Japanese yen anymore. So just keep that in mind if you used to play the safe. I used to play safe having currency effect. Now really, and that's why the interesting thing about trading is that you have to really monitor the market, understand that actually the market change with human psychology. So that's the interesting thing about it. Something might work in the past, but now it stopped working because the traders stop believing or stop acting in that way, and that's why it affects how the market goes. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video is helpful. If you have any question or comment, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily analysis. And again, if you are not trading, that's perfectly fine. In these last 2 weeks, take some time off, enjoy the holiday. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.